Hey guys, it's Kyla at the MJC again, and this time I am here to walk you guys through the interim financial summary to the child support agency. And this version of this video is for people who don't have minor children together. So if you are filing either jointly or separately without minor children, and you're requesting that one party receive maintenance. Before I get into the ins and outs of this form, just a reminder that nothing in this video is intended to be legal advice. It's a video, so I'm not able to analyze your specific situation and to determine whether a court is likely to grant you maintenance, what sort of maintenance you should be asking for, and those sorts of things. If you have those kinds of questions, those are great questions for legal advice. Here in Milwaukee, you can get brief legal advice for free through the Marquette Volunteer Legal Clinics. And if you're not in Milwaukee, then you can go ahead and contact your clerk of court to find out what resources are available in your area. All right, so again, this is the interim financial summary to the child support agency. And as I mentioned, this version of the video presumes that you don't have minor children with your spouse, but that someone is asking for maintenance. And some people will ask, they'll say, hey, why is it to the child support agency? We don't have kids. There aren't any kids involved in this. The child support agencies do handle the trust fund that deals with maintenance orders. So that's why it is to the child support agency, even though you and your spouse don't have minor children, and this isn't actually about child support. There just basically aren't enough maintenance orders for there to be a separate trust fund to deal with that. So it's all done through that agency. So up at the very top, you are going to put in the county where your case is located. For us, that's going to be Milwaukee. And then we're going to enter the names of either the petitioner and respondent if you started separately, so using a summons and petition, or joint petitioner A, joint petitioner B if you started jointly. So basically, we want the name, as you guys know, you've watched enough of these videos to know, we want the names to be in the same order as they were on the original petition in the case. So we'll just enter that, and we'll continue with Jane Susan Doe being our petitioner, and John Samuel Smith being our respondent. You will put in your case number, that 20FA number, or I guess for those of you watching in the future where it's not 2020 anymore, it might be 21FA, but that number FA number that you are probably getting pretty used to by now. You will leave this 4D case number line blank. Don't need to fill that in. You also don't need to fill in the hearing date unless you know it, which most of you won't, and don't need to list the court official. But you will put in the petitioner or joint petitioner A, their name on this line. So again, whoever's listed here, we're going to list again on this line. We'll see how my copy-paste skills are working. Awesome. And we're going to put in that person's birthday. So we've got 1982. And then you will put in the street address for either the petitioner or joint petitioner A. And then the city, state, and zip go over here. And then here we're going to put joint petitioner B or the respondent's information. So whoever's name is listed here, we are going to put on that line. So we'll plug in John Smith's information. And then we're going to put that person's birthday. And we'll put in their street address as well. And try and spell things right. You guys know by this point that spelling is not my strong suit. All right, so you've got all of that information entered, and you can see sometimes the spacing will be off, but if it does go off like that, you might just double check that, like me, you hadn't just not managed to get into the right line. So because this is done for people who don't have minor children together, you can just put none on the first line there and then skip this section. Some folks leave it blank, but we do like to put none there. And then here you're going to indicate who you are proposing will receive the maintenance payment. So either the petitioner or joint petitioner A, or the respondent or joint petitioner B. So in The earlier documents we filled out, I think we had that going to Jane Doe, so we'll say she's going to receive. And then the person who is going to make the payments will be the other person. So in our case, that's going to be the respondent, joint petitioner B. If it's very relatively rare, most of the time you're going to leave this alone. But if you know that the payments are going to be sent to another state's child support agency, which again would be unusual, you're going to put that here. But you don't necessarily need to fill this out just if, or I'm sorry, this is rather if the person receiving is in a different state. So this would be if it's going to be sent to another state's child support agency. Again, most folks aren't going to need to worry about that one. You're just going to go ahead and skip it. But here we are going to put in the person who will pay. So whoever is listed here, we're going to put their employer's information here. And so we're going to fill in John works for Mario Brothers Plumbing. And try and get my capitals here. And then you'll put in the street address. And I should note that obviously for those of you who are filing jointly, you should have this information available. For those of you who are filing separately and are requesting maintenance, you may not know all of this information. You should put as much of it as you are able to learn. But obviously, if you're not able to get all of that information, then you can see my lines are all wonky here. And that's one of the downsides, is sometimes the lines just don't quite want to work. So we'll see if I can make it work. There we go. So you'll want to put in as much as you know. But obviously, if you're unable for some reason to get, say, the address or something, you can go ahead and try and leave it blank. But you might try just Googling them to see. Often, if you Google the company, their address will pop up. And then you'll put in a phone number and a fax if there is one. All right. And then the only other thing you'll indicate here is it going to be by income assignment? So is that where you're asking for it to be automatically withheld? Or is the payer going to send the payments directly to the trust fund? So if they're self-employed, and we've had John's by income assignment. The rest of it you will leave blank, and the court will fill in when they order it, what they're ordering and how much per month and when it'll be effective. All right, so that is all for this video. As always, thank you guys for watching. I hope that you found it helpful. If you need additional information about this form, you can always visit us in the Milwaukee Justice Center, located in room G9 of the Milwaukee County Courthouse. Until that point, thanks again for watching, and I hope that you all go out and represent yourselves well.